Hey guys, welcome back for another one. Today I got a very special surprise for you and a special guest. Today, you guys can see here on the achievements is day 100 and 1000, and 200 days logging into Marvel Strike Force. So I'm going to claim that reward right now. And today I have a very special guest with me, Nico, a former Alliance leader of mine, former Alliance mate after that. And we've been separated for like 4 months after spending more than 2 years together in this game. Yeah, the divorce is hard. What can I say? But welcome back to the channel. How's it going, man?
It's good. Thank you very much for having me here. I appreciate it.
All right. So today, Nico, just like old times, is going to take a look at my roster. He hasn't seen it for over 4 months at this point because we went our separate ways back in late December, I think it was. So let's jump into it, and I'm going to let Nico take full control. Obviously, you're going to see the very top of my list, and yeah, that's Jubilee up there, and I'm not putting Teal ISO into Kestrel because no one's allowed to beat her as the strongest character in my roster, period. But go ahead, Nico, take it away.
All right, that's the gentleman's agreement, right, Jubilee?
Yeah, she's the shit, man.
I recall that from your Twitch that you were talking about if she came up in the grocery store, you're going to 7 red her.
Yeah.
So good for you. All right. Well, it's good to have goals. All right. And then Maria Hill, I remember you pulled that.
Yeah. Yeah. Full disclosure. I guess while we're doing a roster review here, as I never ranked up a character to 7 red stars. Every 7 red star that I have is from a pull, except for one exception, and that was Jubilee. All the other 7 reds you see were actual red star pulls. No promotions used.
All right. So have you started Dark Dimension 5?
Yes, I have.
How's that working for you?
Well, so here, let's just rip this band-aid off, and I'll tell you the same thing I tell people on Twitch. Let's go gear tier. So I decided that I was going to take the approach after holding out, thinking I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to build 5 city characters first. And I was like, well, let me just build up my origin types and just plan out the origin types as I want to use them. And so that's what I did. And I ended up having enough bio gear to do 2 characters right off the bat. So I got 2 web warriors done like right at the same time. And so that was the approach. And then when I quickly found out when I went into the very first node was these are some squishy characters with like no healing. So I don't last very long. I actually earlier today, I actually cleared the very first node of Dark Dimension 5. So I just started the second node of Dark Dimension 5. And like I said, it took me over a week to clear that very first one. Yeah, there's no sustainability here. There's no protection, no nothing. Just like, it's basically 4 controllers. I know Cloak is labeled a protector, but the guy works like a controller. Yeah, it's just, no, they're squishy. Too squishy. I don't recommend these first 5.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing with the Secret Avengers. Sharon Carter doesn't really provide much. She has some control, but by herself, she doesn't really do anything. She doesn't do that rewind thing anymore because it's only for raids. So, well, I mean, I guess you got started. That's something. Yeah. I caution people that I do roster reviews for to... I tell them to wait for people that they're going to use consistently and every day. It looks like you chose people that you use in raids.
Yeah, that's
every day.
Part of my ultimate goal is make sure I keep people that I use every day.
So, I mean, in that regard, it doesn't matter if it takes you 10 days per node. You're probably not going to be ready to get into city anyway. So
no, it took me 4 months to get here.
Yeah. So I've been personally, I have enough to get in. I had a while ago. I just been waiting because I never know if the meta changes, so I'm like, even if I had all the city and all ready to go, I still don't have the global or the cosmic or the legendary, so I'm just kind of biding my time. But I don't think that those are bad choices by any stretch.
All right.
So good for you there.
All right.
But all right, and let's move on here.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna keep it by gear tier at this point, but you can see you can probably see all the characters that I invested the most into. I'm pretty sure you're seeing a theme here.
Yeah, they're all for raids.
Yeah, for the most part.
What about Omega Red though? You're like anti-war.
Yeah, so Omega Red, well, I found out if you put Omega Red, I actually gotta make him 85, but I found out if you put him in the mutant boss node, if you put him in instead of Kitty Pryde, there is a scenario where you can one-shot the boss node. It works out like 50% of the time. Sometimes he gets ability blocked and then it just all falls apart. But if he doesn't get ability blocked, then it usually sets me up for the one tap.
The arrogance of removing Belle Delphine offends me. So that's not even on the table for me. And I guess that you're right. Omega Red, he gets to put generational trauma on Doom, right? That can really help.
Yeah, usually it's if you can get his ult off turn 2, it's game over, one shot. If he's ability blocked, you're in for it.
And I'm hearing people saying he's essential for Dark Dimension 5, so
probably.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you don't have a Weapon X war team, right?
No, I do not. I pretty much. So basically, my counter to Heroes for Hire, which is probably one of the questions that people ask me, is I basically take my 3 highest ranked Weapon X characters, which at this point is Omega Red, Silver Samurai, and Sabretooth, which I'll probably be replacing with Lady Deathstrike here soon. And I just put the 2 Eternals, and I can punch up to Heroes for Hire with that.
I could put the 2 Eternals with anyone else and punch up. But
probably, yeah, but that's my Heroes for Hire counter. I just do the 3 Weapon X characters with Icarus and Cersei.
All right.
Remnants of the Past creeping in there with some symbiotes. There we go. Just let me know when you want to stop. Oh, didn't want to stop there. Actually, can I scroll? Oh, that scroll goes too fast.
Oh, so why did you build a White Tiger? I know why I built a White Tiger. I know why everyone else built a White Tiger. Why did you build a White Tiger?
She was actually a Dark Dimension 4 character, so I took her into Dark Dimension 4. So you can see gear tier 15, level 80s, where she stopped. And plus I pulled a 6 red on her when she was unlocked, and I knew she had meta damage stats at that time. She still does have really good damage stats. I can one-shot a Kestrel with a White Tiger. So she still has really good damage stats, but yeah, that's the reason why she's there. I obviously could put more ISO into her and make her damage stats even higher, but that's kind of where it is currently.
All right, fair enough.
Oh,
yeah, just raid characters basically. Phoenix was Dark Dimension.
Yeah, now you're starting to get into like where maybe they've made it to Dark Dimension 4. You're not going to see a whole lot of characters up this high unless it was for a particular purpose. But by all means, call them out.
Spider junk.
Yeah.
All right, what about Rocket? Was that for the Nowhere?
Yeah, the Nowhere heist. So for me, I already had 3 of the 5 characters already to the levels they needed to be. Of course, Star-Lord and Rocket were not at the levels they needed to be to do it. But I was like, I have plenty of the unique. At the time I was like, I have plenty of the tech gear. They're already sitting on my roster at level gear tier 13. I think one of them was 73 and one was 72 at the time. And I was like, it's a few more levels, 2 more gear tiers. I have it. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off and get this over with and not have this like hanging over my head for a long time. So I did. Got my Elite 7 orb, which I'm waiting to crack open for when Morgan Le Fay comes out. And I'm, I think, 2 more Nowhere heists away from having a second Elite 7, assuming I don't get any extra credits from Elite 6 orb.
I don't know. I got up to the second last of the Nowhere heist. And I was like, I don't know, the Star-Lord and Rocket, I can name like 5 characters that are tech that I'd rather build up than them. I didn't think it was worth it, but yeah, I guess you're like the long haul kind of guy, right? Yeah,
well, I'm always trying to look for the best, get the most amount of resources as fast as possible. It's kind of always been my thing.
Fair enough. Plus, maybe BKT will get a rework.
Maybe, not likely, but maybe. All right.
Man can dream.
All right. Any other call outs here? I'm gonna keep moving.
No, we're good.
Whew, got past the Kate Bishop one. All right.
Wait.
What?
Oh, you use her for raids. That's right.
Yeah, I use her for raids. I don't have the rest of them really built up. Yeah.
No, well, your war defense team.
Yeah. Okay. Now I'm getting slightly past the ones where I was forced to.
Yeah, I kind of remember your Vulture and Shield Trooper. That was Dark Dimension.
Yeah, Dark Dimension 3. They stopped that. Yeah. So they're remnants of the past.
What Mordo? What happened there? And Magneto was your raid. I remember when we got to U7.
Yeah.
You were using him.
I think at one point, when Dark Dimension first came out and they were going over Mystic characters, and I remember there was a thing about Mordo being one of the like could be used. Like he was kind of like a 6th to an 8th kind of character in placement of Mystic characters to use when Doom raids first came out, and I had a 6 red stars on him, and I was like, well, people were saying he can do it, you know, let me just go ahead. And I think he was already up there. I did invest a few more into him, but then, you know, then Mystic characters started coming out like crazy. Well, they're coming out like crazy now, but it started with the new Warriors. Yeah. So so it's kind of where he got left, sure. But I mean, I don't know. It is what it is.
There was a period. There was 1 year where we had one Mystic character the whole year, and that was Maw.
Yeah, that was.
I could see overflowing with those things.
20. I think it was 2020. Was that 2020? I feel like that was 2020 because last year was the year of no bio. 2021.
Yeah.
All right, keep going here.
What's the story with Ultron there?
I just never really needed. I mean, got him I used him for Dark Dimension 3 at that level, and just never really used him for anything else. And every time
you put promotion credits in him.
Why you want me to put promotion credits into him?
No. Why did you? If he's on, if you don't use him, why did you put that in?
It was before Doom was announced with promotion credits, so now I've been saving up for get the 5th red on Doom. So yeah, so that was before Doom was added. If I had the foresight, I probably would have been hoarding this entire time.
Because like I know a lot of people on 2.3 swear by him for tech. They use him for at least 1 or 2 of the nodes. And they invested the red stars in him. They got him level 85. You kind of have him like in the middle where he's like level 75. You don't have quite the red stars for him to be useful. You don't have the ISO for him to be useful. Like, but you've already invested resources into him.
Yeah.
So I would. This is very uncharacteristic of you. That's why I'm calling you out. Because normally you'd be like, hoarding them forever.
Yeah, I mean the fact that he's level 75 kind of shows that I've stopped investing in him like 2 years ago or close to 2 years ago. I mean. This guy, I mean, really all he really needs is an armor and health buff stats. That's all he really needs is more damage, more armor, and then he's meta again. Because he is really squishy against the newer characters of the game. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe a resurgence, but I'm prioritizing that 5th red on Doom before I do anything else. All right.
All right. Looks like you got Dark Hunters on the way.
Yeah, I've been working on them, but I did put a pause. I did just quickly put a pause on them for right now. But yeah, they'll probably get finished up. 1 for War Offense, and 2. I don't know if they're going to be needed for Scourge event. Like maybe I can just do it with Web Warriors, but I would like to have a backup plan, and they're my backup plan. So yeah, you can see I put something into them, but I paused recently for another character we're going to see coming down here very soon that I felt was more important at the current moment. All right, so got more, and anything is good.
Haven't I already reamed you out for? I've done your roster review like 6 times, and like every time I swear you put 1 level in just to shut me up.
One of these days, maybe. I don't know. She needs another stat rework at this point.
Oh, she's perfect. All right.
All right.
Well, you're squirrely girly. I thought you were using her more often. I expected to see her bigger than that.
Yeah, back when I first ranked her up, I was using her more often. She's still a plug and play character on War Offense, but War has recently changed with the release of Young Avengers, so I don't.
War never changes.
Yeah, so I don't quite know. She was on a team with X Factor, so I could go against teams like Brotherhood Doom or anywhere where I just needed to cleanse, she worked out good for that. And I know some people use Rhino for that, but I use Squirrel Girl. But now that it's more like X Factor Zemo is kind of like the thing people want to use a lot against Young Avengers and stuff like that. I don't know. I haven't changed up my war teams in a very long time, but I just don't know what to do with her. And I don't have enough Young Avengers to put them on war defense, even though I could look to see if they would put together like a semi nuisance war defense, if it just have like her and Kate Bishop. And Miss Marvel has some investment, but not a whole lot. And you'll see her a little bit later, but the other 2 are like level 30 on my roster.
Get them up to level 60, put them on war defense. People are going to punch down with ridiculous things, or they're going to do a normal punch across and get tossed.
That I could do. All right, so we got to see.
I'm glad to see you built up Korath.
Korath. Oh, that's a long time ago. One of the biggest regrets I have in this game. So back when, I think it was when tier 12, whatever, when they updated the challenges, I want to say it wasn't the last update. It was the one before that where, and and he had the blaster challenge, and it was definitely the one before that, but before the last two.
Hope so.
Yeah, and they brought him out, and he was like one of the highest recommended characters for it. So I was like, well, I want to get these challenges done, so let me invest in Korath. Now there's just so many great blasters in the game that developing Korath past level 1 is a waste of resources. Let's be honest.
He's, he would just need a couple tweaks to have a good rework. So I wouldn't be worried about it.
Yeah, he's definitely got some good stuff about him. He just needs better stats. All right. Next level.
Oh, Silver Samurai.
7 red. Just waiting for him. Just waiting for him to become farmable.
Do you find a use for him anywhere else than War?
Not currently. I don't know where else he's being used at.
Yeah, I was curious because
no, yeah,
I only use him in War.
I did see him as a Dark Dimension character for somebody who one-shotted the global nodes. I don't know how that works, but I just know in my data collection that I did pull data showing that someone took him to Dark Dimension and one-shotted the global nodes as a part of him, him as part of a team. But yeah, so I don't know, but definitely I'm looking forward to that 7 red. It's going to be one hell of a tank.
So you don't use Lady Deathstrike in the raids?
No, and she's the character that I recently paused my investment in the Dark Hunters for. So earlier when we looked at my first 5 that we took for Dark Dimension, there was no tech there. So I was like, okay, I got to get a tech done. So I'm going back. It was either going to be Lady Deathstrike or I was just going to go back to Ghost because like my experience with like my first 5 characters was there was no one debuffing the other team or like putting offense down their team or putting defense up on my team. And I was like, well, if I have Ghost, that's automatically putting offense down on the opposing team as soon as they take a turn. But then I was like, well, if I take up Lady Deathstrike, I know she's like one of the best recommended characters for tech raids. So it was a coin flip and it landed on Lady Deathstrike. So that's what I'm currently invested in. So she'll be going to 85, gear tier 16 as fast as I possibly can get her there.
Yeah, I kind of feel like Ghost would be better in Dark Dimension, but Lady Deathstrike's definitely better in the raids.
Yeah.
I felt my Ghost was just too squishy. She was getting 2-shot regularly, so I dropped her, replaced her with Lady Deathstrike, and even at like she was 3 yellow, 3 red, and she was doing better than Ghost.
Yeah. So I'm hoping for a farmable weapon next sometime in the near future. I really do. All right, so we're gonna start getting into like the trash of the roster. Let's be honest. You might find some surprising characters that are in the trash part of my roster, but like, what are you thinking? So looking forward to that.
No, I am too.
All right. All right.
No, none of these are surprising, to be honest.
Good.
They're war characters. They're outdated meta. Like, you can make arguments for some of them, like in certain uses, but X-23 was awesome for her time, but I wouldn't tell you to work on her now. There's like 12 other mutants that deserve the attention before her, right? So
yeah, definitely. I don't even know. I don't think maybe like she's an Uncanny X-Men, but I don't think many people like have. At least I don't think they've tried her out in Uncanny X-Men to see how she does. But I mean, she is an Uncanny X-Men.
If you have magic, then there's no room for her because then you want to put Storm, you want to put Cyclops, and you need Colossus. So it's just done.
Waiting for her to stop being the orb character in the arena store.
I'm a little disappointed. I was really looking forward to groaning and getting in your face.
This is the thing I always talk about all these years was once I become an endgame player, yeah, I'm going to work on the newest stuff because that's the best stuff and I've already beaten all the content. And everyone gave me a hard time for that theory.
How do I yell at you for not building up Heimdall, who was meta 3 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Like, or Human Torch. Like, what kind of an asshole? I probably shouldn't have sworn. Well, who tells you to build up Human Torch like in 2022?
Yeah.
She-Hulk, I think you should have out of like spite.
All right. Yeah, not much down here. You're gonna see a bunch of old.
You really don't like the Uncanny X-Men, eh?
No, it was just one of those times where they're when they were the best, I just wasn't at that place to build the best at that time. I was still in that mode where I needed to build what I needed for content, and that's going to be the end of the roster.